And then we don't get there. We get somewhere else. But when we are somewhere else, we got there by mistake because it's not exactly where we wanted to be, but yet we like it. Or yet the company is also nice, even better. This is something that you can get trained by art. You start, I did this painting, for instance. I did this painting I was invited to a conference to give an explanation of what is globalization. And then I said, globalization is buying and selling. Remember that you have to do it with love and with the law, because if not, this is buying and selling without love and law, complicated. Remember that when buying and selling, you need painters and musicians and poets to be incorporated. And the most important part of globalization is that nobody is left behind. So this was my idea on this painting. When I finished painting that, I hated it. I said, this is nothing that I wanted to be. Then I left it there for this conference that I was invited. I keep looking, and now I like it. So this is very much art by mistake. The process happened. Before coming to this conference, I was talking to an architect, a good friend of mine, an architect, and I said, when you make the drawings of your projects, you like what happened at the end when you see them constructed? And the guy said, you know, normally they are very different to what I made the first drawings. They came, many people, to give their ideas, their inputs, and at the end, what I have is nothing connected to what I first designed. So this, I think, art by mistake. Companies are very much like that. You start wanting to sell whatever, and you end up buying whatever. You wanted to be an engineer, and you end up being a businessman. You wanted to be a medical doctor, and you end up being running a hospital. So this is part of our process of accepting this growth or this creativity by mistake. Art can help us to understand that process easily. Get ready, because you try and you get sometimes places that you didn't expect and you might also enjoy. If not, it's time to remove that way. Yeah? So art by mistake. What else? Art to discover how we want to be. I mean, I put this painting that the Russians might love, like I do, the Spaniards not so much, because probably it's not as famous. But this is how we want to be. Look at art, and then art tells you stories. For instance, in this case, is Ivan the Terrible. Ivan the Terrible, that was mad, and he was so mad that we went with you to see this painting actually in Tretyakovskaya in Moscow. So Ivan the Terrible was so mad that was running everything in a very mad way. So mad he was that got his son and killed him. And then said, wow, I'm so mad. Okay, that's the story I tell you. So that's my story. But debate it during lunch today, that story with your partners, and you will see how much you get into that story. Is he mad, Ivan? Is too mad? As an entrepreneur, it's good to be mad. If you are so mad with your ideas and creations, you end up destroying your project. You see? Maybe not. It's a classical debate, this one. Madness and rationality. I mean, this is an old debate, as old as history, basically. So this is a debate that I invite you, now that you've seen this painting, to find out how much mad you want to be as an entrepreneur. There is a limit of madness. Can you start a company without calculating the cost? Is it smart to start creating a company without calculating the end of the story? Should you start a restaurant and get mad with the restaurant and everything, and your family and everything falls apart? Art can help us with this debate. Find out how you want to be. Not, I choose that painting, but I can choose many others, and everyone invites you. Art, in that case, invites you to decide how you want to be. Art can help us to be precise. As managers, I mean. Look at this painting. I choose this one, and this is from a painter that I love. It's just the opposite of the first painting of creativity I showed you before. This is precision. This is precision. The guy that did that knows how many fingers this guy has, knows that the hat is brown, knows how many books are here, knows the shades of the beard, every detail. Analyzing precision is also a tool important as a manager. So be precise is an advice that this you can get from art in that sense. You can, if you're not precise, you will start making your accounting, and then it doesn't matter if I don't put this number of the cost of electricity. It doesn't matter if I don't count with precision the taxes that I have to pay. Salary of the people, yes, but more or less, I don't know. At the end, if you want to be a good manager, you have to be precise also. You have to be creative and mad, like Ivan the Terrible, but precise also. So maybe art can help you train yourself. If you're not precise, train with art also to be precise. Art in general also it's accepted as a tool to create social capital. What is social capital? Have you ever heard that expression, social capital? It's kind of new, probably you never heard. Social capital, you did? Yes? What is social capital?
It is like when you bring all your actions in human resources, develop people who work with you, your team, your managers, and educate them.
You? Yeah. We consider, yeah, that's good, both definitions. Let me be a little bit more precise, no? Is a society that is wealthy in terms of social capital is a society that has oil and glue around that makes people trust each other. If I trust you, when you tell me that tomorrow at 9 o'clock we have a meeting, I know that at 9 o'clock we have a meeting. If I don't trust you, then I want a WhatsApp. If I don't trust you enough, I want an email. If I don't trust you enough, I want a contract, a signed paper, just to get an appointment. So societies that are wealthy in terms of social capital, things flow much easily. Contracts get done faster. So this is how we can put oil in that sense in our society so that things flow around easily and then we get together to trust each other and do things faster. I talked to you about an appointment, but if we're talking of a banker and we don't trust a banker, then we have to make contracts, etc. If we trust them more, then social capital is there and things become much better. I have a son that sells insurance. I never trusted the insurance sellers. When they sell an insurance, you say, woo, give me everything in writing. But now it's my son. What did you say? Papi, invest on this. Listen, my son, are you sure? Yes. Done. This is social capital in that case with an insurance company. So societies that have social capital perform better. Is a way to measure the amount of social capital existing in a society. It is. And art can help to put oil in these societies. It does. So let me prove you that point, okay? I put it here, like oil that makes a society perform more efficiently, each person has the challenge to provide social capital. Every one of us have the challenge to provide. A doctor has the challenge to be good, and then you know that it's good, you trust that person. An architect builds a house, and if you trust, it's also thinking on making spaces so that the people can meet freely, openly, that they can debate, they can make building thinking on that or not. If an architect builds a building thinking on exposing the users to social capital, is doing his job, is creating oil, is putting oil in the society. Obviously, teachers. If I come here just to teach you and to tell you how beautiful I am with my new suit, it's a point. But if I want to create social capital, maybe I should think, what can I give you so that you grow? And then I put social oil, social capital. So every one of us has the challenge to make oil to the society. Art can help us. Societies have, we can measure that. We can measure how many, no? How much oil has Switzerland, how much oil has Spain, the country I come from, I've arrived from. I don't know if I come from, we will discuss that later. It's the country I arrived yesterday from. The city where I live most of my time. Positive things that can tell you that a society is full of oil. It's like the car. We have it, we take the thing and we measure how much oil is there. Political involvement of the people, amount of newspaper readers, how the people use their free time, number of political parties, institutions created, which kind of institutions they are around, sports, social activities, solidarity, if there is a solidarity movement, donors, organ donors, etc., it tells you that this society, chances are, it has lots of oil. Negative mortality ratios, crime, robbery, etc., tells you about lack of social capital, lack of oil gluing the relations between the people. Family dysfunctions, court cases, suicide rates, tax evasion. Tax evasion. So this could be a way to measure the amount of social capital that a society has and the amount of trust between the people to perform, to be better managers and to create new things, including new companies. Okay, so art helps. Art can help on social capital because, look, positive is art museum attendance. So people, societies that care about art museum attendance is a society that chances are that their glue as a society is there. So, well, art helps also on the creation of social capital. Art also helps more things that art helps. You remember in the first slide I said this one? I promised to deliver you ideas on art, it's beauty. Art that promote creativity. Art by mistake, to discover how we want to be. Art a tool to be precise. Art to create social capital. Now art as reconciliation. Well, this I think is a very obvious one. We have a fight between you and me when we deal on business, and then we don't agree. I don't like you when you talk because you don't like me because. So what can we do to continue? And here I discovered that art is a very powerful tool. Let's talk about the food of your country. art as gastronomy. Let's talk about the music of your country. Art, music, that will unite us, will help us reconciliation tools. It's a music, gastronomy, art in itself. If I talk about with a Russian about the famous Russian painter, then probably chances are that this could be a tool to reconciliation. Okay? So art as a tool to reconciliate. And now I get to a point that I really would like to spend a little bit more time. Is art as an identity issue. If you want to be good international managers, obviously you will have to deal with other people from other languages, no? Like in the campus. If you want to be liked by the, I don't know, you're Russian, and you're Chinese. Okay, so if you want to be good negotiating the Russians with the Chinese in the campus, you better find out your negotiating skills. No? You should improve your negotiating skills, let's put it in a very formal way. Because if you really are skillful with your negotiating skills, chances are that you will be a bridge. You will be able to bridge that distance that might happen here due to this geographical distance, okay? And if we know exactly a little bit more about identity, we are bound to accept other talents. If I think that the Russians are, then I'm not accepting the talent of the Russians. If I think that the women are, then I'm not willing to accept the talent in my organization. If I think that the Chinese are, or the Spanish are, or the Americans like that are, then chances are that we make distances. So if we want to include talent in our organization, chances are that we have to find out a little bit more, debate a little bit more about identity. Who are we? Am I Spanish? Am I European? Am I Christian? Am I Russian? Then let's stop a little bit on this topic of identity and see if art can help us, because the clearer we have who we are in terms of identity, chances are that we will be better managers, better negotiators, better bridges with other identities, and better managers in terms of accepting talent to our organization in case we are entrepreneurs and we are creating new organizations. Do you think identity, we should talk a little bit? Since we want to be international managers? Are you sure? Yeah. Then let's talk about that, because I love it actually. Let's talk a little bit about identity. Identity may be something in your passport. They give you the passport and says your name is Josep, you're a man, and the passport is red, so Spanish. Yes? That's it? That's it? That's my identity? Well, that's what we are planning to do in 40 minutes now. It's been on since the initiation of the humanity. So many people has been thinking on and on identity. What is it? Today we want to think just from the vision of entrepreneurship, but identity is being discussed on and on. I put here three famous guys that I admire, no? Adorno, Theodor Adorno, Marcuse, and this Bauman. Basically, people that have been thinking all the time on identity, hoping that their ideas come to us and then we become better managers. That's what we want. Thank you very much, Mr. Adorno, for giving me your thoughts. Okay? Mr. Adorno talked about identity, Bauman talks about liquid identities, and this guy Marcuse talks about uniform identities. So we are not new on that. I put it today like a big thing, but it's not new. You know who you are? Okay, let's find out then. To speak about identity is a synonymous of choice. Choice. You choose. And here begins the story. I go to a supermarket and I get Coca-Cola. I don't get Pepsi. So there is a choice here. One is yes, the other is no. Okay? I go to buy butter. I get one brand. I don't get the other. So it's choice. Identity very much goes like this. It's choice. If I choose to be Spaniard, I'm Russian. No? So it's no problem. No problem at the beginning, but there is a choice here. If I choose to be a man, I'm not a woman. No problem. But it's a choice I made. Is there a problem? Well, here are 3 more books that you can read after the campus, because during the days in the campus you should focus on other things. But 3 more philosophers. So far 3, I told you Theodor Adorno, the first guy. Here, first you should read books of Theodor Adorno, about Marcuse, and about Bauman, Liquid Identities by Bauman. Now 3 more books. Actually, if you're lazy, you can YouTube them. Because we have YouTube or Google them. 3 more. Krishnamurti, video them, YouTube them. Krishnamurti says, identity is choices. And you think that making choices, nothing happens. No, you are starting creating conflicts. Because if you support the French team, you don't support the Croatia team. And so you sit next to somebody that is not supporting the team that you're supporting. Krishnamurti says, conflicts. At least conflicts. I'm sure you saw that yesterday. It was crystal clear. Conflicts. Not big ones, but conflicts. Okay? Not big ones because this was, none of us care much about what happened there. If this would have been Russia, and probably the conflicts would be on a different level. Spain, Russia would have been in a different level of conflicts. Krishnamurti says conflicts. There is another guy, Amartya Sen, that says beginning of choices makes conflicts, but if you continue with the conflicts, they create violence. Okay? Amartya Sen, Nobel Prize, Economy Nobel Prize. Actually, he visited the University of Barcelona a couple of years ago, and I got to see him at a distance, and he's inspiring. So I've seen that guy. Enlightened. And then here, create conflicts. People think that creates violence. And Amin Malouf says, identities might kill people. Full of examples nowadays when somebody sticks very close to their identity, especially religious identities, the conflicts might claim on the latter, and we kill people due to identity issues. Okay, religious. I don't want to name conflicts, but you know, plenty of conflicts nowadays that raise the identity issue to a level that goes from conflicts to violence and killing. Okay? So let's talk a little bit identities and get ready, because globalization has just begun. It's a party. The party of globalization has just begun. Check Panama. Panama, they just made a new canal. Canal of Panama. 3 times bigger. Before there were boats of 11,000 TEUs. And now it's 30,000 TEUs. They just finished it. So get ready. Flowing of products back and forth. Telephone calls. Basically free. You call mommy in WhatsApp call. The minute you get Wi-Fi, you have WhatsApp calls, and so what that means? Well, it means that globalization is a party that has just begun. Have a look at this campus. 35 nations. So I'm getting ready. This is, woo, next time 37, 44, and that's the thing. So globalization makes these things just beginning. We continue with the party. Yes, we have now entered in an era that we have Trump that is hoping to stop the trade. Then we have Brexit areas, we have etc. Yes, we do have that, but this is temporary. You cannot stop that. This is farther beyond political issues. Don't worry, the party has just begun. They are not going to make the Canal of Panama smaller. Airbus is not going to stop growing their planes bigger. The YouTube is not thinking on stopping the telephone conversations, so you cannot stop that. Globalization goes on and on. And then here you have defenders and attackers of globalization. Obviously, I am part of the globalizing team. I believe very much. I think it's good that you're here, ladies and gentlemen, that we are all mixed. But we have identities to fix, because now we have people of all different mentalities and things, so we have to deal about that. And if you want to be a better manager, you will have to negotiate with others. You will. And also, you will have to accept in your companies talents from everywhere, because talents from everywhere means points of view that can be very creative and innovative in order to be good with the products or services that you are creating. Okay? So, welcome to identity. Let's talk a little bit more about identity. But let's be precise now. Let's be precise for the remaining 40 minutes about the identity. Precision. Let's see how precise can we be on identity. If we fix that problem, the idea is that we become better managers and we become bridges, we are better negotiators, so wow. So it's time to be precise when we talk about identities. Let's use microscopes, not a flag. I see a flag. I have a flag also here. Oh, I'm Spanish. Oh, that's it. Nice. Let's be more precise. What does it mean exactly, all these things? And then maybe when we know identity issues, how complicated they are, probably they would help us to become better managers. Okay, so let's use the microscope. What does it mean, the microscope, to analyze identity? Well, I've been researching. Can I buy a microscope to see the identity of the people? And then I found a guy, Mr. Adorno, Theodor Adorno, the guy, German, exiled to America, because in Germany they said that they don't want him as German. That was Second World War. I don't want to name the leader of that country at that time, because you all know who I mean, okay? So, expulsed for being German, but he was a German, that created the microscope of analyzing identities. And he said one thing. Technique, Adorno technique. Are you ready? Are you following me? This is an important thing. Adorno technique. When you say that you are Spanish, defend it. Adorno says. And now, defend that you are not Spanish. Dialectics, negative dialectics. When you say that you are Christian, defend it. And now, make sure that you have examples to prove that you're not. And so, at the end, don't find a solution, but get confused. That's the technique. Let's do that. Let me confuse all of you now with the technique of Adorno. Let's do that. Ready to be confused? Now you know your identities, you know your countries, you know your gender. Let's see if I can help you to get confused. Ready? Difficult, Mission. Woo! Not me. Adorno. Theodor Adorno. Negative dialectics. The microscope or technique to do that. And I said, again, since this campus is art and entertainment, so art can help us with the technique of Adorno. Can I go to a painting and say, excuse me, painting, can you tell me who I am? I was thinking like this in my office when I was preparing this speech. Sitting there, I said, how can I talk to a paint? And then I checked that with my wife and said, you crazy again? Leave me alone, let's watch the movie. I said, but now I want to talk to a painting because I need to find out who I am and tell to the people in Kazan. Oh, come on, leave me alone. Yeah? She's an American, like you, but from New York. Jewish. I went to this painting. You know this painting? You should know this painting. The Podvrajatza Vludnovo Sin. The Return of the Prodigal Son. This is a painting that is supposed to be shown in the room next door because it's the Hermitage room. No? It's shown in El Prado. No, wrong. It's in Hermitage, as you know very well. I said, well, I had a private conversation, with the painting. I said, are you Russian? I asked the painting, are you Russian? The painting doesn't talk, but I said, let's pretend that to. And the painting said, what do you mean? If you're Russian? No. My father is Dutch. He's called Rembrandt. My father. No. Were you born in Russia? No. No. I was born in Holland, the painting said to me. Can I see your passport? And he has passport. This painting, it has passport. It has passport. Passport says Russian. 300 years in Hermitage. All written in Russian. I could not read there. Whoa, it's all in Cyrillic. 5 generations. 300 years is 5 generations. If it was a man, Messi, you know Messi? Messi is from Argentina. Had a son already in Barcelona. If the son has a son also in Barcelona, would be 3rd generation. If the son of Messi was in Barcelona, would be Spanish. 4th, 5th time, and then at the 5th time I asked, are you Spanish? And Messi's son say no, Argentinian. That's the answer of this I got from this painting. I am Dutch, but because my father was Dutch, because I was painted in Holland, but I moved here to the Hermitage 300 years ago. So maybe here we see something weird, no? We have answers that are strange. So first, let's use the Adorno technique. If your father is one of you who wants to help me, you, for instance, your father, where is your father from? Tatarstan. And your mother? Tatarstan. So you are a Tatarstan person. That's it. So if you are from, your father is from Tatarstan and your mother is from Tatarstan, you are Tatarstan. That's it. Is it done? That's it?
Yeah.
Somebody might disagree to that? Somebody now, Adorno says, okay, so father and mother from Tatarstan, you are Tatar, from Tatarstan. Then Adorno says, now give me examples of father and mother from Tatarstan, and you, son of them, you are not necessarily Tatar. Can you give me an example?
Born in another country. Maybe if you are born in another country, like maybe if you are born in Spain and your mother and father from Kazakhstan.
For example, father from Russia, from Ufa, mother from Ufa, they grew up Dimitri, that Dimitri moved to Spain when he was 3 months old and lived with my friends, adopted. Dimitri, nowadays 10 years old, speaks no Russian, has no idea where Russia is, no care about Russia, teams for the Spanish team in the football club. So maybe father and mother is not identity, because identity has to be a label that you have when you have. If you can take that label, or if this label is not so solid, means that it's not the label. Let's look for labels. So father and mother necessarily give identity? Maybe not. I have many other examples, okay? Let's see official documents, passports. Am I Spaniard? Definitely. If I want to come here, I have to go and get a visa. No? We have to, from Valencia, from Barcelona, but we have to go and get visa. So, passport says that you are from. Can you tell me examples of, so if you have the passport of, where do you come from? Nigeria, you are Nigerian. That's it. Definition by the political powers. And so, don't worry, you have that. Eh? You don't have to hesitate. This is what it is. Okay? Where do you come from? Passport. Where is your passport from? In your case? Indonesia. Oh, so clear. Passport of Indonesia. Is an identity issue passports? No? No. So easy. Goodness, if I want to be in Russia, I need to get my visa. So many people believe that I am not Russian, obviously. No? So I don't know if I'm Spanish, but definitely many people think that I am not Russian because I don't have access to, if I want to come here, I need to knock at the door. They call it visa. Eh? Knock at the door and we'll see if we open or not. And they open too. But it's, so passports.
What about the immigrants, like people from another country move to another country in search of job and then they settle there and they get a new identity? So
Well,
they replace their
I can give you a recent example. You are a little child, little children from Thailand. You get to excursion with your coach, your football coach. Then you go to a cave. Ooh, you get into a cave. You walk 3 kilometers inside the cave. It rains. Then you get flooded. You know that case? You know what I'm talking about? So you are kept in the cave. I said you are from Thailand. No, you're not from Thailand. You, at that time, you don't have Thailand passport. You have Thai ethnia group. No, we don't want to give you passports. But if you are in the cave and you rescued, 15 days later, you have the identity you wanted. Now, yes, now they give you a passport. So is passport an identity issue?
No.
No. If you want, let me get, do you like to have a Thai passport? I would like. Do you want one? Get to a cave, make sure that it rains, that all the entire planet rescues you, and when you go out, you get it. That's the way to get it. Eh? Passport as an identity. I have a Spanish passport. Well, I almost have it. I almost lost it. On November, there was people become crazy, according to my definition. Societies often get crazy. So my society got crazy, and all of a sudden decided that we want to make a new map. Listen, and like the Brexit, they decided now we don't want to be Europeans. You the Europeans, that way. We are better than you. That's basically what happened. So they got a different passport. Is a passport an identity? No. Not yet. So parents is not good. The question I asked to the Rembrandt painting, is it parents an identity? Not very much. Is it passport an identity? The police might say yes, the politician might say yes, but we are seeing plenty of examples, migrants that you said, etc., that not really. Okay, not really. So, identity, who are, now we're getting confused here. If my father is Spanish and my mother is Spanish, I cannot claim that I'm Spanish. If my passport says that I'm Spanish, I cannot claim that I'm Spanish. So, let's continue. Because if we make clear this debate about identity, there is a gift at the end of this class. Is that you are better managers. Remember that. I'm here in the campus to help you to be better managers. So I keep continuing on that path of identity, talking a little bit with more precision of identity, but don't forget, if you resolve the identity idea, you are better manager, you're better preachers, you're able to negotiate better. That's the idea. Okay? So let's continue with identity. Passport, don't work very well. Parents, born in a country.
No.
If you're born in Russia, you're Russian. Who wants to defend that? It's easy, this one. Were you born in Russia? Okay, so then tell us, are you Russian? No, I'm scared. I'm leaving tomorrow, after tomorrow, so don't worry. It's not possible. You can say whatever. Your teachers are around here, they're good guys. So defend it, it's obvious. You were born in Russia. So you're Russian? Yes, it's easy. No? Where were you born? Uzbekistan, with your flag here, very proud of your flag. Actually, I have one flag like yours in home, in my house. In my house, in the living room, I have an Uzbek flag. And look, so when I saw this flag, good, no? Okay, by the way, it's a flag that somebody took it to the top of the Everest, and they gave it to me as a gift. So they said, but you will have it with proudness. And I said, yes. But you don't like flags? No. So how can we combine that? The guy that gave me that. He said, I have an idea. I like to play guitar. So I'm going to use it to cover the guitar. An object that I love. Deal. Like this. So there is how I use the flag. Then let's continue with more idea. Born in Uzbekistan, does it give you an identity?
No.
No?
No.
No. Wow, you follow very much my ideas and convince everyone. Now, who wants to marry me? Because now I have, these people is devoted to me, born. So, no. No? You're born, where are you born?
Serbia.
Where? Serbia. And you're not Serbian?
Yeah.
You're Serbian. Okay, no? You said no.
Yes, it does.
Yes, but with this teacher,
From what you were saying, it does give you an identity, but not your identity. It gives you an identity.
An identity.
A kind of identity, but not the identity.
right, it's great. This is my next slide. This is my next slide because if you confuse you, good. So, examples of you. I was born in Barcelona, so I am Spanish. I have many examples. Can you give me examples of this being born in Barcelona and not being Spanish?
I have Ukrainian, Russian, Christian,
Okay.
but I don't feel that I'm Russian, just 100%.
Okay. My son, David, was born in Barcelona, but mommy, my wife, my Jenna, no? Kateria Lublu Noga. My Jenna is American, and she's so proud of being American. When I tell all the stories, says, "Leave me alone." She says to me, "Leave me alone." Okay, I leave her alone because I love her very much, and that's the idea. But right after the hospital, run to the consulate to get a passport for David. Since the father is like me, I don't care about the passport that he has. She gave him the American passport. So my son is American. Look how funny the situation. I am Spanish and my son is not. It's really ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't it ridiculous? Isn't it a proof of what I'm saying today about identities?
Yes.
I think so. Okay? So I am a machine to manufacture Americans, ladies and gentlemen. I am a machine manufacturer of Americans. So this is the thing. This is so Is it an identity thing? So is identity issue being born? Not necessarily. We have examples, plenty of examples. Go to search with diplomats and people that travel a lot, and then you really have a feast of examples on this kind of ideas. So let's go to this one. Religion, identity as religion as an identity. Muslims in the room, raise your hand. Muslims, of course, I was expecting you. Many. So, what is to be Muslim? What is to be Muslim? What is it? Go to the mosque. So if you don't, you're not supposed to drink wine? No? Okay, so how many Muslims drink wine tonight? Oh, you are not a good one. So we have different levels of Christians, levels of Muslims. Okay? Careful with that, because careful with identity, the same thing. We have different levels. And there is the Muslims that drink wine. Let's talk about Christians, because I don't want to step on anybody's foot. So since I am supposed to be Christian, Christians, they go to church on Sunday. I do. Not now. When my mother was alive, I took her to church every Sunday. I use my Walkman phones to listen to music, but I wanted to be with her. So I did go to the church every Sunday, but while she was watching on television, I would do my homework. So yes, I am Christian because I go to church on Sunday. I am Muslim, ladies and gentlemen. Here is I am Muslim. You know what? Because I don't like wine. I don't like it, very little. Only when there is a toast. Because it doesn't feel good to me. Then I don't sleep well. So I decided to be Muslim, ladies and gentlemen. So I am Muslim in terms of wine. But pork, ham and that, not Muslim. So I'm not Muslim. I am Muslim. I respect very much Quran. I read the Bible. I respect very much the Bible. Though I think there are two books full of mistakes and nonsense, full of them, both. When I read them openly with my open mind, and I say, wow, that is written in the Bible? My God, gays are to be not? And that is written in a sacred book. Blacks are supposed to be discriminated. Ku Klux Klan is based on a phrase in the Bible. Read the law of Ku Klux Klan, based in a phrase in the Bible. Careful. So yes, Christian, but not the entire Bible. Yes, Muslim, but not the entire Quran. Yes, Muslim, but pork also. Yes, Christian, but to church every Sunday, not really, it's boring. So what is Christian? What is Muslim? And then you would say, well, that makes you respect in every single thing, but careful with all that, because yes and no. Not very strong on that. When you belong to a religion, then you don't belong to the other. And that's, here we step on creating problems, big ones. In a world that is globalizing and makes us Muslims and Christians and Buddhists. We have Buddhists here? Some Buddhists? No Buddhists? You are? Where do you come from?
I'm from Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, wow, welcome. Buddhists, they say they are very peaceful people. No, Buddhists are peace and peace. Check out the Rohingyas, how do the Buddhists treat the Rohingyas. So, peace, yes. like all of us, like the Christians and the Muslims and that, and the Buddhists. So careful with this, because the minute you make a choice, you made a choice, you discard others, and when you discard others, you are better. And when you're better, chances are that it's hard to analyze others with objectivity. Okay? So, identity and religion. Topics. Let me tell you how the Russians are. Now I'm going to tell you how the Russians are. Topics. If you want to be, if you want to negotiate with Russians, you the Sri Lankans, it's easy. Go to YouTube, how to negotiate with Russians, and then you get YouTubes. If you want to get PowerPoints already made, you go to Google, and then you put how to negotiate, you get PowerPoints. I got one. One of these PowerPoint video would be, I have no time, so I would show you videos on how to negotiate with Russians. Okay, so let me give you some advice. To those who are, where are the, we have French people here? French, no? We have Uzbek, well, Uzbek, yes, and Spaniards, Americans. So to those who are not Russians, because the Russians, you know how to negotiate with Russians. You already know. You don't need to go to YouTube. No, you don't need to go to YouTube. This is now, please, the Russians do like that because you don't need. You are Russian, you know. But those who are not Russians, now you go to YouTube or PowerPoint and you get some advice. Okay, ready? Now the Russians, please do not listen because they will think that this is stupid, what I'm going to say. Though there are many books and many YouTubes and many PowerPoints, the Russians, please do not listen to this now because you will think that is stupid. So, but let's see topics. Be alert when you're in Russia. Be alert and open to taking a drink or having a toast. And refusing to do so is a serious breach of etiquette. So this is serious. This is a serious document. This is, I invite you to research in YouTube. So basically what they are telling is that if you're in a meeting and a Russian gives you a vodka, have it. If not, the world falls apart and then the business doesn't go through because they would be very upset that you don't drink vodka, that they love it as the vodka drink. That's what it says. That's why I told the Russians, please don't say anything, because you know how stupid it is. Well, if I put the Argentinian here, is get ready, ladies and gentlemen. If you are vegetarian, Argentina is not the place to go. Because there in Argentina, they spend the whole day eating, and they only eat meat, pork, meat. So don't go to Argentina to do business. Or if you go, get ready for spills, again, because that's what it says. How are the Spaniards, ladies and gentlemen? Are there many Spaniards here? Raise your hands, the Spaniards. Oh, many. Many. Plenty. Okay, so get ready, ladies and gentlemen. I heard in this room last year, 2 years ago, in this same room, 2 years ago, a professor saying that we are lazy, the Spaniards. We are always laughing because we are super happy. We are all the time happy. We are very passionate. When we make love, ladies and gentlemen, it's a feast in Spain. We are super. That's what the guy said. And then, he was German, the guy said, but they are not punctual. They never are on time. We, the Germans, are on time. We are very precise. When we make calculations, our calculators, it's magic. German calculators are, whoo! Spanish calculators, shit. Not that word, he didn't use it. But I said, but what's going on here? What is these topics? What is these topics? How do they manage to, where do they come from? They come from YouTube. They come from Google. And ladies and gentlemen, they come from word of mouth. word of mouth. There is Edward Said, another name I want you to write. Let's remain the names I want you to read books of. Theodor Adorno, Marcuse, Bauman, Krishnamurti, what else? Amartya Sen, Amin Malouf, Edward Said. Ready? Edward Said says, my friend from Sri Lanka, Edward Said says, you will go back to Sri Lanka. How long you've been here in Russia?
It's nearly about 1 year.
What?
1 year.
1 year, oh. Edward Said will have a little bit of problem. Some people that come to the campus, only for the campus. Where do you come from?
America.
America. Where in America?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. So, Edward Said, a professor, a Palestinian professor that migrated to teach at the university in the United States. I don't even know the name of the university. Anyway, America is so great that it's able to pick up talent. So this guy, talent, went to America. Fantastic country, America is able to see talent. They see talent, they take it right. So Edward Said said, careful now, because you will go to America after being a week or 2 weeks in Russia, and your friends will ask you how the Russians are. And you will go around and tell everybody how the Russians are. And then, if somebody criticizes you, you would say, have you been in Russia? And the guy would say, no, but I've been. So you've been, so you will start creating topics in this. Okay? Careful. Careful, because that's the way we create legends. Okay? I had some friends that they were in Japan a week ago. And then before coming to the campus, I called them. Listen, have you been in Japan? Yeah, oh, big earthquake, big rain season, you know. Last week there was a major disaster. The biggest natural disaster ever in Japan in terms of death casualties due to rain. So I said, have you been in Japan? Yeah. And how was Japan? Oh, Japan, and started giving me, the Japanese are so weird. They are really incredible. They are very strange people. And I said, oh really? Do you speak Japanese? No. Okay, so you don't speak Japanese. You had no idea how to talk to them. Could you manage to talk to them if they are happy? Did you manage to talk to any lawyer in Japan like you? No, because we don't speak language. So you think that the lawyers in Japan, they fix the problems with a magic wand, or they do it like you? No, they are very different. He's creating myth. And then he asked me, have you been in Japan? And I said, no. Okay, then you don't know, and I know. He's been a week, and he has made a master's on Japan. So you will be in Russia, surrounded mainly by international people. Believe me, this is not Russia. This is not Russia. This is a spot of Russia. Unless you get really to know some of them here very well, which you don't have time. You are not in Russia. You are in a campus. So then when they ask you in America, back in North Carolina, you said, no?
Yes, sir.
How are the Russians? What is the right answer?
I don't know.
I have no idea. That's the right answer. There are 150 million Russians. I met for 5 minutes 10. So all my knowledge on Russia is 25 minutes. So really keep reading Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, Shchuchov, Pushkin, and find out. Because I have Lenin, Stalin. Keep reading that and then you tell me. Because I have no idea. What I know is that I had fun, it's nice, and I met one beautiful Russian girl that was pretty. But the rest is topics. Careful with topics, okay? Topics are very useful when you are international manager. They are very useful. They are very useful. When the Germans talk to me, I say, listen, tomorrow we have an appointment at 9 o'clock. Since you're German, I know that you will be very precise at 9 o'clock you're there, no? Oh yeah, we are there. So the appointment comes on time. That's why you can challenge them with the topics that can be very useful. But don't fall on the trap. Spaniards are always happy. You don't know Spain? Go to a hospital and you will see how happy they are in the hospitals in Spain. Eh? And they are very passionate. Well, go to check with etc. And so careful with the use of the topics. Eh? Gender. Let me finish with this. Gender, men and women. Let's see. How many men are in this room? Raise your hands. How many women are in this room? Many women. There is no. So there is a women point of view of the situation and a man point of view. For the men, do you think what I'm saying is interesting? And for the women, do you think it's interesting? They coincide. The point of view of men and women coincide. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be serious. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is wrong. It's a very simplistic approach to the situation. In this room there are men, women, and many, many more options. Many more social options, and many more different points of views. Welcome to the room. If you don't want to see it, fine. But if you want to be a successful entrepreneur in a business that is entertainment and that, be more precise on the analysis of the situation. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. That's not enough. It's good for a party. But to be precise, gender issues are much more wide options. There are many more things. Does it exist? The men's point of view of life and women's point of view of life?
Yes.
Think about it. Yeah? Women see life in a way, and men see life in a different way.
Yes.
That's clear, understood. Let's put an example. Let's see an example if that is true. Broken nail. Let me put you what do you mean broken nail? That's interesting. That's an interesting way. Let me give you, to defend your position, I'm going to give you an even better example. To defend your position, Theodore Adorno put it way. Positive and then negative. Positive. I was before coming this trip in a photojournalist meeting. Photojournalists. You know photojournalists? Journalists that go around taking pictures and then they send to newspapers and get printed. Right? So in that meeting, there was a woman sitting comfortably like this and sat like this and said, there are very little photojournalists in the world, women. 90% are men, 7% women. That's a problem. Because we don't get the women point of view of the world events. I'm going to prove that, she said. There is a boat that pick up immigrants from Libya coming to the Mediterranean. You know that we have a major problem in the Mediterranean. And we call the Mediterranean, it's Redusemblia, and they should call it cemetery. Because nowadays it's a burial place of immigrants coming from North Africa looking for new life in Europe. That's the way it should be called. But we call it Mediterranean. There is a boat picking up immigrants, helping, and then this boat is full of men and women. But there are only photojournalists in the boat, covering inside the boat, taking pictures. Since all the photojournalists are men, they only let them access to the places in the boat where they have the men. They are not mixing men and women, because these women are being, they were mistreated. They hate men because they have suffered a lot in their countries of origin. So in order to protect them a little bit, they make a little separation. So the photojournalists can only take pictures of men. So I read the paper in the morning in Barcelona, and I get pictures thinking that in this boat there are only men. Because women's point of view is not allowed, because there are no women. Women would be allowed to enter into the premises of the boat where women are, but abused women are. We cannot get that report in the newspapers. You understand what I mean? Because there are no women, and they don't let a photojournalist take pictures of beaten women because for respect, they don't do that. The end of the story is that we don't get the women's point of view. Okay? That's it. So it exists. That was what the lady said. So, good example. Better than the one of the nail. You see? Here we go. Thank you. I wanted to ask, is there somebody that thinks that this is so big? Here we have another one. So there are 2 points of view, 2 women points of view. Does it exist the women marriage? What do you mean by marriage? Are you sure of that? Totally? Which country you come from? Uganda. Because I would recommend you this famous writer from Nigeria, Chimamanda Adichie. Chimamanda Adichie. Read the book of Chimamanda Adichie. Another name. This is extra for the class. Chimamanda Adichie. You know that. Chimamanda Adichie says in his books, I could care less about getting married at any time. I don't care whatever they say. I am a writer, a famous writer, that I get my books sold all over the world in millions. My TED Talks, you know TED Talks? You know TED Talks? Then Chimamanda Adichie TED Talk, precisely about identity. Chimamanda Adichie says, continuing with your thought, they sell always a single story. Since I am Nigerian, when I go to London, they don't accept me as Nigerian. And when I go to Nigeria, they say I am English, British. So I cannot be Nigerian, I cannot be... People like to tell single stories. You are only a woman. You are only a man. You are only Nigerian. And she says, Chimamanda, no, I'm not married and I don't want to get married. I want to meet men a lot because I like that, but not getting married because this is not for me. Chimamanda Adichie is not Uganda, but probably can give you some ideas. Is there the women point of view? Am I a man? What does it mean to be a man? In that room where the photojournalists were doing the pictures, they asked the opinion of a man, because I was very lucky to be surrounded by women, only women in that room. So and a couple of men, that we were a large room like this, and then they wanted the opinion of a man. And I sat like this. I'm not representing the men. I'm not the man representative. Do I represent the opinion of the Spanish men in this room? Am I the ambassador, Veronica? The ambassador of Spain? The ambassador of the Spanish men in this room? Am I? Not really. If I think is that I'm stupid, more Russian, right? Yes, I'm Russian. So, what does it mean exactly, precisely? That you care about the nails? That you don't see that you want to get married younger? This is the women's point of view. What does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a woman? Apart from the obvious differences, sexual differences that are obvious on the aspect, as I said, because of sexual options there are many. So men don't cry. Men don't cry.
No.
They do men cry. Whoa, you are then. They do cry. Your friends cry. Oh, you. He has friends that cry.
Yes, I cried. Cry secret.
He has friends that cry. So you marry and you a crying man, like me, man. Like me. I watch a movie and it's so embarrassing. When I'm watching a movie, everybody knows when I'm gonna cry. It's so predictable that I feel embarrassed sometimes. Because they say, now my son. They turn, they look at me because they know that Papi now is gonna cry. And they are like, and I cry. I'm gonna try next because I don't want that. But anyway, I will continue fighting for, I don't mind crying, because sometimes I feel embarrassed. That's why I would like to at least control, because it's obvious he is getting married with her, and now they go to church, we'll give a speech, and I will cry. It's so obvious that it's so predictable. Men cry, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you. Good friends. You have friends that cry, keep them. Keep them. And so, it's 12, no? 5 minutes and I go. Okay, so I wanted to analyze modern identity passions. Let's, I don't have time. Anyway, language. If you speak Catalan, you're Catalan. You heard that word, Catalan? It's the language we speak in Spain. If you're Russian, you speak Russian, you're Russian? No? No, yes, no? Then I'm not Russian because I speak a little Russian. I'm a little Russian then. So identity and language. Maybe for you it's obvious, but often we think that identity and language goes associated. You speak that language, you are. Careful with that, analyze it in detail. I can give you examples. Is Hamlet British? Hamlet, have you heard of Hamlet? Is British literature, as we say. El Quijote is Spanish literature. You know El Quijote? Don Quixote. Don Quixote is Spanish because it was written in Spanish language. Is El Quijote Spanish? Check Ana Karenina. Ana Karenina by Tolstoy. Ana Karenina is Quixote. It's the same. Ana Karenina is a Quixote that performed in St. Petersburg. Check. It's the same. It's the same story. Mad and doing life like Ivan the Terrible with madness. El Quijote the same. Live his life in Spain by dry things, the landscape. But is El Quijote Spanish? Well, not really. Is Hamlet British? Shakespeare? Ladies and gentlemen, the more I read Hamlet, and I can recite you Hamlet by heart because I love it, the more I realize that is exactly like me in terms of passions. When he has fears, when he has hate, love, regrets, Hamlet is British, he's Catalan, he's from Barcelona, Hamlet. He's from Barcelona. Quixote, check it, because probably he's from Moscow. Ana Karenina definitely is not from St. Petersburg. So language is an identity. So let me close. Identity, confusion. I hope you are all now confused. I hope so. I hope so because many people might think, so if I am confused, I'm weaker. No. Socrates, you heard another one. Socrates. Socrates says, confused is when you're strong. Get yourself confused. Get a good confusion. That's basically what he says. Then is when you're strong. When you're German, very German, you're supposed to be punctual. If you want to hurt the German, do we have Germans here? Where are the Germans? No Germans? Better. Let's get this idea. If you want to hurt the German, tell them that in Germany, not everybody speaks English. In Germany, yes. No. So it's easy to hurt people when they trust very much their logos. Watch out, your logos. It's easy to hurt a Russian. very easy. But if you are confused, then Spain is a country that is a little bit of garbage. Yes, yes, you're right. You're right. Let me tell you why. Yes, no problem. So you become stronger. So what are we? We are a puzzle. What we are is a puzzle of identities. As you said, you have the label of Nigerian. No problem, it's nice. But make sure that it's proper size, because you have to put many others. Hopefully, in the Kazan campus, you will get the label of Russian. Probably, you will get it. A little bit, little one. Make it grow. Then, you don't have the label of Muslim. Get it. He will teach you how. Get the label of Muslim and try to see if this label can grow. If you have a label that is too big, make it a little bit smaller. And at the end, what you are is a puzzle of identities. So if you are a puzzle of identities, chances are that you are easy to negotiate with others because they can hurt you less. You're bound to accept talent from other places because you only will judge by the talent. You're willing to let women work in your society or in your company because if it's smart, yes. If it's not, no. But valuing not the gender issues, but more the talent that is able to reach to you. Okay? So that was the final conclusion on identity, puzzle of labels, on art, as a tool to help you in many different directions to become better entrepreneurs. So that's the time. Thank you very much for coming.
Yes. Friends, did you like it? Yes. Anyway, we are introducing a new tradition of writing wishes and congratulations for participants of campus. And we ask you to write something memorable for us, please. Now or later. And your name, please. Guys, say together, "Спасибо" for Joseph. 1, 2, 3. Спасибо.